Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome to this Nick from Top Notch Sports. Today we're over Los Angeles Chargers salary review and off-season moves for 2023. In 2022, the Los Angeles Chargers went 10-7, finishing second in the AFC West and losing in the first round of the playoffs to the Jacksonville Jaguars with head coach Brandon Staley and quarterback Justin Herbert. I was a huge fan of Justin Herbert coming out of college. I have had many recordings, videos, and tapes of me saying he's going to be the best quarterback that comes out of that draft class. And I was absolutely not a fan of head coach Brandon Staley. And I would be shocked if in a month from now we're saying that Brandon Staley is still the head coach of the Chargers. I just want to know what your guys' opinion is on that. You Chargers fans, rather than me, using my 2 cents, I want to hear, do you still support this guy? I like coaches like Dan Campbell, guys that are motivators, guys that, make decisions based off their guts, not based off analytics. Analytically driven people might work in baseball. I'm not saying not to listen to the analytics, but at the end of the day, a fourth down decision should be based on your gut, and you should not go up to the podium and say, the analytics supported my decision. You choose the decision based off of your gut, not off what the numbers say, in my opinion. There's 32 NFL head coaches in the National Football League. I don't want to say analytics made me lose my job. Make your gut make you lose your job. Me being a, player, I played football. I currently coach football. I study the game. You come from your gut when you make a decision. And if anyone asks you why you did something, say, I chose this decision because I feel like that was the best for my team, not because the numbers supported it. I can't stand that. Enough of my rant on Brandon Staley and my monologue. We're going to be hopping into this. This is a mock offseason, mock free agency, mock draft, mock everything. So stay tuned. Here we go. If you're new to this series, welcome. If you're not new to this series, welcome back. Here we go. Let's hop right into this. Here we are right here. Here are our expected starters that are currently under contract. If a guy that you see right now is not under contract, then they're not listed here, okay? So real fast, if you're new to this, again, in the top left corner, you see the Chargers have negative $8.4 million. That means they don't have a lot of money to use. And you look at the team, there really is a lot of green and a lot of red. Green means if you cut the player, you save money. Red means you cut the player, you lose money. Quick example, if you cut Matt Filer, you would save $6.5 million. If you cut Sebastian Joseph Day, which you wouldn't do, you would lose $2.5 million. You're not going to cut nobody in the red. You may cut some guys in green. When I look at the guys in green, who pops out my eyeball? Khalil Mack at $18.4 million. I know he's expensive. You're not going to cut him. You might restructure it. I'm not going to restructure things for you, but you're not going to cut him. I can guarantee you that. Keenan Allen, $14.8. That's a lot of money. You're not going to cut him, but you may restructure it, but I'm not going to do that for you. Matt Filer is definitely in question. You save $6.5 million. But again, you're now negative 8.4. So why are we going to cut a guy and still be in the negatives, right? If you were to cut Matt Filer, Austin Johnson, those two combined, you're only you're only positive $1 million. You're not signing nobody with $1 million. So it's not even worth cutting these guys at this point. It's just worth staying where you're at, being in the negatives and saying, screw it for this season. There's not much we can do. Another guy that pops out is Michael Davis for $7.4 million. But again, a lot of these guys play good that you can save money if you cut them. So you're not going to get rid of them. So let me know who you would cut in the comment section below. And let's go to the next slide, or potential targets, guys that might move on to free agency unless you extend them. Here they are. So our notable losses. First things first, the percentage snaps played is calculated by guys that were activated for the game day roster. If they were not activated for the game day roster, then being put on the IR, or being injured that game, and not being on the game day roster, if they were inactive, the percentage snaps played does not get counted against them. If they were active for the game and they choose not to play, they get benched or they get hurt, well, then the percentage snaps played is affected. So real fast, so if some of these numbers look really high and they only played 5 games this season, well, that's why. All right, real fast. Safety Nasir Adderley, expected contract 3-year, $26.3 million, played 92% of the snaps. Next guy, Drew Tranquill, linebacker, expected contract a 1-year, $4 million deal. He played 94% of the snaps. And last but not least, wide receiver DeAndre Carter, expected contract 1 year, $2 million. He played 58% of the snaps. Typically, a good rule of thumb here is this. If they play a high percentage of the snaps and they play well during those percent of snaps played, the team will typically look to bring him back if they have the cap space. So the next slide, we're going to look at our potential targets. Here are our potential targets. And again, you see we got negative $8.4 million. That's why it's in red. Estimated cuts, we're not going to cut nobody. If you don't cut nobody, then get back to the positives. Unless you franchise tag someone, you're not going to sign nobody. So we got nobody as well. So we're still negative $8.4 million. So the Chargers this offseason have to work through the draft. It needs to come through the draft. Okay? And with that being stated, let's see what we can do. Okay, so how are we going to build through the draft? Well, very simple. In the first round, we're going to draft offensive guard O'Cyrus Torrence, probably the best interior offensive lineman in the draft as of right now. Again, when I do my scouting reports, you guys are more than welcome to wait and see. But right now, according to many experts, he's the best offensive lineman. Interior offensive lineman, I should say. In the second round, you're going to draft safety Jordan Battle. Probably one of the best safeties in this draft, too. So you're getting two really high-quality players where you're picking. Interior offensive linemen don't really get picked early. So Torrance falls to you, and Battle, again, safeties usually last a little bit too. So you're getting a really good safety out of this deal to plug and play right away for a guy when you're losing, Nasir Adderley this offseason. Last but not least, in the third round, we're going to draft defensive tackle Mike Morris to plug him in as well. So you look at your team needs: offensive guard, defensive tackle, defensive end, linebacker, and safety. You're plugging in 3 of the 5. Right away, you're drafting O'Cyrus Torrence at offensive guard. You're drafting Mike Morris at defensive tackle. You're drafting Jordan Battle at safety. You still need a DN. You still need a linebacker. Hopefully, you can get in the later rounds, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. But again, we only did a 3-round mock draft. So now let's look at our 2023 expected starters for the next season. Negative $8.4 million will be carried over next season. So you don't have any money to really work with. You don't see green. You don't see orange. Green means you assigned a player. Orange means you re-signed a player. We did none of those for you guys because you got negative cap space. With that being stated, you do see yellow, you do see blue. Yellow's not a good sign. We consider these players placeholders. Austin Johnson and Nick Neiman, in our opinion, are guys that the Chargers are going to look to upgrade over. This is according to our own analysis and according to PFF grades. Maybe we butted heads on a few of these, but for the most part, this is what we got. With that being stated, you also got the guys in light blue. The guys in light blue are your draft picks: O'Cyrus Torrence, Mike Morris, and Jordan Battle. We're sliding in Torrance right away over Matt Filer. Matt Filer is a decent player, but you'd probably rather have Torrance over, Matt Filer. With that being stated, again, you look at this offensive line, you got Slater, a young stud. Torrance, a rookie from this year's draft class. You got Corey Lindsley, a guy you went out and spent pretty highly on. I believe that was last offseason. Zion Johnson, a guy from last year's draft. And Jamari Salyer, another guy that, hey, again, another young kid that you're trying to play. So, long story short, you look at this offensive line, really young, really, really young, upcoming, and guys that, honestly, so far, you don't know what you really got out of Torrance, but so far, look pretty dang good. If this is your offensive line next season, this is a really good young offensive line to have around Justin Herbert for years to come. You still got Eckler, you got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, you still got Joshua Palmer and Gerald Everett. You look at this defensive side of the ball, they definitely underperformed this season, but adding Jordan Battle to fill in for Nasir Adderley and bringing in Mike Morris, you still got 2 holes, but besides that, between the 2 edge rushers and Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, you have cornerback room in Michael Davis, Sante Samuel Jr., and J.C. Jackson, and your linebacker in Kenneth Murray, who will hopefully finally live up to expectation. This team all around should absolutely make the playoffs next year and should make a push. I don't know your head coach, situation, what it's going to be going forward. If you keep Brandon Staley, which you may, if you don't, who knows what's going to happen. But I'm saying if this is your starting lineup next year, what we did in this video, and Brandon Staley is your head coach, I see this team going 10-7 again next season, finishing second in the AFC West once again, making the playoffs, and winning a game or 2 in the playoffs. Will they be in the Super Bowl? Not with this roster, I don't feel like. If they don't win a game or 2 in the playoffs next season, Brandon Staley must be let go. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. We'd love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think you'll do. Let me know where we went right, where we went wrong. We'd love to hear it. This for entertainment purposes. You may not agree with everything. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Peace. We are built better.